Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Marcus from TCG Discussions coming at you with a video today about Dragon Ball Super. Where I'm at with that. We're going to talk about the ban list today. We're going to talk about my personal play and just overall, where I'm at with the game and what it's going to mean for the channel. So, let's start off with the ban list. Let's get to that. So they banned Android 21 in the name of peace because A21 won Worlds, of course. They'll hit a blue deck, but they won't hit Trunks Cheetah or a yellow deck that wins. It's it's fine. It's totally fine. Like they just hate on anything that has to deal with Goku. Period. But if it has to deal with Vegeta or Trunks, we'll just let it be broken forever. Ban Bergamo. That was a ban that was a long time coming. I have no idea why it took them that long to ban the card. Yeah, personally, that didn't make any sense to me. That card should have been banned a long time ago. It was a one-of that was degenerate in certain metas, and then when it wasn't degenerate, it was just waiting for the next time it was going to be degenerate. Swift Retaliation Cooler got banned. Thank freaking God that card needed to be banned a long time ago. I have no idea why they let Yellow live as long as they did, but that card lived in Yellow as long as it did. But a body that draws 1 to 2 cards and counter something should not exist in Yellow. So rightfully so, deserve to be banned. Limited Kamehameha Omen to Victory. This is to slow down U7 Goku, the newest best yellow archetype that just got printed. Already trying to address it because it's been dominating. It's been overperforming, but that's not the point. The point is that it's already been touched. So, yeah. Moving on, Errata's Unceasing Awakening Rage, another hit to green, which is just completely unjustified by all metrics, in my opinion. I don't give a crap what anyone's justification is. Green has been the worst color, like, demonstrably for the majority of this entire game, aside from, like, set 2. Like, anything beyond set 2, green has just never been relevant or close. Like, Splash of Green has been abused by yellow or blue, but that's it. I mean, other than that, it's been completely trash as a monocolor. And it's part of what I think is, like, wrong with the Masters game anyway, because they just refuse to hit anything good in yellow. They refuse to let blue have its time and its blue cards, and, like, good blue cards or good leaders. Like, Android 21 wasn't on anybody's radar for Worlds, and yet it won. I'm pretty sure Cooler Mill wasn't either, and it won Nationals. So, like, again, it's just, it's really stupid. But any justification of hitting anything in green in Masters is just a complete joke to complain about it. But it is what it is. And then moving on, they errated Pan. Again, it's a hit to 21. It's so that you can't give the Pan to other people. And I guess it's kind of fair. It's funny, though, because the effect to give your opponent a card is not relevant in any other deck. That's, like, not Sun Gohan Superhero or Android 21. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Kind of odd. But I get it. It's what enables reduction of cost, basically, of Android 21 cards in your hand on your opponent's board that's out of pocket for the color of blue. So not blue. And then final errata for the Son Goku leader that U7 had been abusing with Unceasing Awakening Rage. Or whatever. No, that's Awakening Rage? The SCR? That, like, cheats it out? Yeah, personally, I think that they should ban that SCR. Like, ban it. Instead of just, like, talking about how, like, dumb this is, just ban it. Like, just move on with it, ban the SCR. But they probably won't do that because they're not a very big fan of banning SCR, so it is what it is. But that pretty much does it for the ban list. I think that a lot of it was justified. Like, if you win Worlds, just plan on your deck getting axed. Unless you're Trunks Cheetah. Notice my complaint there. And it's going to tie into what I'm going to talk to you about with Masters here in a second. But all that to say that I thought it was an overall pretty good list. Swift Retaliation needed to go like long before now. It was long overdue. And I'm more happy with the band section than I am the like the errata or the limited section. I mean, what they did to 21 by banning In the Name of Peace, like if you're gonna hit the deck hard at all, that was a true gut punch. I mean, that just rips her early game just straight into the toilet. Like, it was so bad. It's so bad now, bro. Like, that hit really hurts. I mean, you took away Self-Awakening, the ability to untap a card, the ability to, you know, produce another card that ramped. Like, I can't even begin to tell you how important that card was that is gone. Like, that card is monumental to her early game. And the fact that they hit it was a really, really strong adjustment to the deck. Can it recover? I don't think so. Like I think the early game coupled with her extra, like, her restrictions on her front side are so severe that you actually just might outright get destroyed before you even get off the ground with the deck now. The entire pro of playing her came from the fact that you could get to your backside quickly via In the Name of Peace. So yeah, it's pretty rough. It's gonna be pretty terrible. Bergamo and Swift Retaliation are degenerate cards that should have just been banned a long time ago. And then the limitation, I honestly don't know what the U7 Goku deck does. I have not been keeping up with the game well enough. But that's going to tie into what I'm going to talk to you about next. So I am going to cease officially right now, even though I said that I wouldn't until the game dies. I may bring a ban list update time to time. But there won't be any more deck profiles or deck discussions regarding the Super Card game on the channel anymore. And it's with a really heavy heart that I have to do this. But I have to be honest with you guys as a content creator. Number one, Dragon Ball is never my IP. Like, if there was ever an IP, and we know that the card game it never even got off, it died before it even attempted to stand up, which is Naruto or One Piece. It's one of those two. And being honest with you, I love One Piece as a card game. I think that it is incredible. I think the card arts are insane. The alternate arts are beautiful. The way that, like, you can play the game either online or on the sim or, you know, in real life with your friends. The community is overall very good. Not toxic and overly competitive and cliquey. There's a lot of reachable people, I feel, in the community, and I just, it is a great refresher. So that's part of it. This next part is the vast majority of why. So that's probably why I guess I would say I bring up One Piece, because when the play of that game has been the reason why I have not played Dragon Ball Super Masters as much. But this next part is the main reason why content probably won't be coming anymore. Deck profiles or anything of the like, because I always do in-person deck profiles. I never do things like on a computer and spice it up. It's part of my identity as a content creator, that you get the face-to-face interaction, the real time. You hear my voice, you see my face, my reactions when I pop off, and, you know, like, get in that high-pitched voice and just, like, you know, go to town on a ban list or on somebody or some idea. Like, that's part of my identity online for content creation. It's the same in One Piece. But I had to sell out of the game recently due to a financial expense, so I literally don't have cards anymore. So, and I do not plan on reinvesting or buying back into them, because it was so hard to let it all go. To be honest, like I kind of need time, and I'll like if my friends bring decks, I'll play, I guess, but like for me, like my competitive drive for the game, my place in it, my accomplishments in it, they're done. And there's just so much that was going into that decision. One, where the price of the game was just getting unbearably cheap. Like you could buy a case of the new set for like half the price of the case in previous sets. Like it's disgusting how much product there is and how like little interest there is in getting the cards and how cheap everything is. And with everything being cheap, there's a lot of accessibility, but even then that's not really true because there's still regional promos that are not printed, that are just locked to behind paywalls, that are just ridiculously stupid. And then furthermore, there's the fact that Worlds and Nats this year just felt meaningless. Like, I tried to find Battle Hour, I couldn't. And then when I heard what won both, I was like, what in the world is this nonsense? Like, if anyone would have told me Android 21 would have won Worlds this year, and then Cooler Mill would have won our Nationals, I would have looked at you and told you that you were smoking something. Like, it's just what it would have been. And they came out of nowhere, both of them, and did what they did. 21 has been a really strong deck for a long time, but I mean, I'm going to be honest, from the few meta game breakdowns I've seen, Android 21 hasn't popped up anywhere in a hot minute. Again, that's one of the stupid things about Dragon Ball Super Masters. The entire, like, upper echelon of the community does not ever kind of share. They always gatekeep, like, the best of the best out there. And somehow it's always blue. Like, there's always something broken in blue. There's always something that's super edgy or just completely collapses the meta, and they just never talk about it till Nats, and then all of a sudden, like, we solve it over here. I mean, this is the second Nats in a row where something has been completely solved, and for the entire, even for Worlds, like, it was solved for Worlds, like Android 21. I think it got second, and it took Worlds. Right? So, you just got, it's just nonsense. And it's like, that kind of stuff like, One Piece, I'm going to tell you right now, there is no secrets in One Piece. There's no secret top tier deck coming out of the woodwork to do some hot nonsense of anything. It's not going to happen. Right? Number one, there's way too much content put out there for everybody. That's just the reality. And secondly, before someone comments, hey, you do your own testing, you find the broken stuff, that's on you for not seeing it. I get that. I'm not, and I didn't go. But what I'm complaining about is that there's not an openness about what the metagame is. And like what's good in the metagame. It's just like the same stuff, and then like some secret deck that comes out of nowhere. There's no way that would ever happen in One Piece. No way. No shot, no how. Okay? If there's a deck that's not on our radar, somebody will find it and break it and leak it. They're excited to show how good the deck can be. And does it deny competitive advantage? Absolutely not. Because guess what? Everybody in One Piece knows what they're playing. But with Dragon Ball, like, I don't know if there's too much leader diversity, too many archetypal strategies that can be applied to the game. But this is a constant problem every single year for high competitive events like Nats and Worlds. It's just a constant problem. Somebody coming out of nowhere with some random deck leader and just completely pouncing on the world. And while it's kind of refreshing to see, like an old leader do something in a unique way that we've never really thought of, It also just goes to show that like the meta game isn't defined well enough, right? And again, we're talking about a Worlds, back to my point, that just felt meaningless. First off, Legends deserves every bit of success in the world. He's a great player, right? But to win it at the end, what feels like the end, is just really, really tough. And I'm glad, if anybody, he got it. Because, you know, he really does deserve it. He's a great person. I've talked to him several times in real life. Whenever I see him at events, he's a really great person to talk to. He's really smart, really, really well-versed in the game. Can't heap enough positive praise on him, especially for sticking out in Invoker as long as he did and doing what he did. But, you know, this leads me into Fusion World, and I'm about to apologize again. Begrudgingly, I ended up going to the pre-release event and trying the Structure Deck pre-release tournament for Fusion World. I was hosted at my locals at the Gamer Dojo. And I am reminded why I don't like Masters anymore as a game. Why it's not fun. And why I got into One Piece. That tournament showed me exactly why, okay? So the last tournament that I played for Masters, I was playing Mecha Gabora. Undefeated until I got to, I think, round 3. And round 3 was me against my buddy Jacob, and he was playing Yellow Vegito, okay? I'm playing Mecha Gabora. And after he got to 3 energy, the next 3 negates were Mecha Frieza, Nimbus, and I died. And counterplay like Sin Shenron. Okay? And I remembered why I stopped playing Masters to get into One Piece. And that is because there is too much that exists, especially for Yellow, in Masters, that just turns off your entire turn. You just don't play. Right? You do everything you want to do, and you leave your energy up for one card. And then your opponent is stopped. That's it. You just don't do anything. You don't go bird, you don't do anything. There's no setup. There's no locking your opponent out of the game, no flooding them back, because for some reason black just does not get anything good whatsoever. I mean, like, whatsoever. Like, it's still, you know, doesn't have free counterplay, doesn't get, like, a good, doesn't get any good floodgates, just gets, like, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Just gets completely, like, clapped around by half of everything that's in the meta, and just it's garbage. I mean, like, it's a little trash what they've done to black as a color and identity. And the reality is that every single game I had played before that, it was more authentic Dragon Ball, where there was a back and forth, but it was more forth for me than it was back for them, and I won. And that's what Fusion World is. There's no counter play, and so it is literally just you guys are playing cards, and then you interact with those cards and effects, and then you go. And that one game that I had in Masters, my final locals game that I had in Masters, just reminded me that that game is full of paragraphs of toxic text that just are printed for power creep reasons that have destroyed the integrity of why I even got into the game. Okay? I got in at set 2. Okay, if you don't know what set 2 cells front side does, it says tuck a card underneath this card, KO a 3 or less. It does not draw on attack. It doesn't do anything like that, right? Like, it just pops a card, 3 or less. It's a really cool effect. Honestly, Cell Chain was really stupid, right? But it was also mitigated But the fact that your hand size wasn't very big, and so you could die on the clapback or whatever, and your leader's not generating advantage, and you're not seeing consistency, all these other things. So you had to supplement that with searchers, draw cards, whatever, and all these other things. Okay? That's the game that I got into. Okay? My first real top competitive deck was Son Goku Apes. 8 beatdown that with Planet Vegeta just restood all my ape cards. And then I gave all of them barrier with the 5-drop Vegeta, SS3 Apes, right? SS3 Grapes. It's what we called it back in the day. And it's basically like Yellow Frieza is right now. You have blockers that swing and then stand at the end of the turn, right? It's basically like that, right? So, I mean, that's like a version of... That's a version of it. I mean, I honestly should probably end up playing Frieza for that reason alone, just because it reminds me so much of my first actual competitive deck. But when I look at what Masters has become now, like when we're literally charging opponents' life into Z energy off of dumb effects just for simply playing a card and then attacking with them, I just don't know what we're doing anymore. Like, it's just not the same game. It's just not what it was. There isn't resource management or advantage. Like, everyone wants to complain about the SCRs. Anyone who's complaining about SCRs in the game, I've got some... I just don't give a crap about that. I don't. Do I think that they should just ban Unceasing Rage over... Or the... Like, whatever Rage is. Whatever Rage SCR is. Do I think they should ban that over irradiating a card? Yeah. Because, like, that card's degenerate not just in that deck alone. Okay? It's degenerate in many other decks. Because it and it will continue to be something that cheats out broken Z leaders way earlier than they should. So, yeah, I'm not in any way convinced that's like a great SCR to have. But like, I'm not gonna complain about power creep in an SCR because it's a one of in your deck that is designed to be powerful, and it is designed to swing the game. It is designed to have a certain tempo to it. And, like, the fact that you don't want something like that in the game, I think kind of just is kind of telling of what you value in a card game, right? Like, you value the back and forth, but don't want, like, one card to sack you. And I get that. Like, I get that. But, boy, do I got news for you. Like, Fusion World fixes that problem because it's not going to be sacky when there's 4 of them in your deck. But even further than that, like back to Masters, the most broken effects in Masters are not printed on SCRs. Like, they are just monumental effects at key times. They are not broken all the time. Masters, on the other hand, not Masters, but Fusion World, on the other hand, so let me sing the praises before I get to the concerns, okay? So, praises. The no counter or counterplay is the most authentic version of Dragon Ball that I originally got into the game for. The effects of every leader or their archetype are strong. There is not a weak strategy in set 1 at all. Every leader, I mean, the weakest might be the structure deck Goku leader. Everything else is viable. Every single thing is viable to play. You can win with anything. Now, there are certain decks that I think are better than others. Like, I think that Frieza's the best yellow, even though there's people who keep trying to tell me it's Ginyu or it's cooler. I think Vegeta's the best, although someone might argue Trunks. Goku Black has some really solid stuff going for it. A 40k that plays out a 30k can be really strong. Brawly is my favorite green pick, but the common consensus is that Gohan's the best, followed by Brawly and then androids. But Brawly and Gohan, they're like kind of competing back and forth. And then Red, I think, in my opinion, Beerus is the most broken of all of them. But in the set, between Beerus and the Red Goku leader in the set, The red Goku leader is the same thing printed as Zoro in One Piece, and that has been broken for the last 5 sets. So it very well could be that Goku is the best one, but Beerus is really strong into green. Like, really, really strong into green. So, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. But the bottom line is that they're all really viable besides like structured at Goku. He's unfortunately like the worst of all of them. So when it comes to Fusion World, the other thing is that it's a more authentic back and forth and more genuine to like the actual combo aspect of the game. It matters a lot more because that's your defense. Excuse me. By the way, I'm in quarantine. I have the flu. It's one of the reasons why I'm making this video, but don't worry, I'm not going to throw up on the camera or anything. Like, I'm doing better. But I got tested yesterday, and I was positive for it. So, yeah. But all that to say, the cards in the game also have a good tempo swing to them. There's no shortage of powerful cards that you can play for each archetype and or color, and the colors themselves do have a distinct identity. Green is about ramping both energy and life, and then playing for the long game to play very, very powerful cards that you will not overcome. And if you barely manage to do that, which I think the only color that can effectively handle green is red, nothing else really can. Yellow does not have a lot of good solutions either, even though they're going to argue that they do. They really don't. They seriously don't. But I can see it. It might be able to aggro it down too early, but if it does not kill or get the aggro down early, I don't see it. Because the Brawly structure deck card is a secret rare from Dragon Ball on crack. It's a 45k dual attack, draw a card, pop a card. Every turn. And you can play 4 of them. That's not even the green secret rare for the set. It's the Gohan 50k that blows up the entire board of your opponents and can't attack for the turn. So, yeah. Just absolute nonsense. I mean, the Brawly structure deck card basically serves as that, with attacking 3 different things with 45k and popping one and drawing a card. It's just gross. There's no shortage of powerful cards. Red is about minus and aggro. Basically, same thing from Masters. Yellow is about rest, KOing rest, and blocking. More of a control, which again, we do see that with yellow. But its identity is, I think, a little bit more sharply refined and tuned. And then blue is all about card advantage. It's not about ramp. Ramp actually goes to green in this game, which is insane. I guess they're just going to make green good, which is fine, because green was terrible in Masters. That's good in Fusion World. But blue's got a lot of strong things going for it. I mean, a lot of strong things. It's got Gallic Gun, which is like iconic rare UI Kamehameha for Masters. Plus 15k draws a card if you have 7 of those cards in your hand. I'm on, like, dumb. Activate battle timing. Absolutely stupid. Then you've got Sickle Scythe, which is a card that bottom decks 2 4-cost or lower cards on your opponent's board for 3 energy, and you have a Bulma card that can make it a 2 energy play. That can backbreak your opponent's entire defensive game plan. Like, if they wanted to set up behind some blockers and some counter power in their hand, like, that card can just solely, like, remove them. Final Flash, a card that should have never been printed in a set 1 ever, but they put it in the structure deck as a 4-up, for Christ's sake. If you have 7 or less cards in your hand, discard, reduce the cost of it by 1. It's a 2 cost, okay? With the Bulma card on the board, you can make it cost 0. And then on activation, discard a card, Bottom deck one of your opponent's cards 5 or less. The only cards that does not hit in the game, the only cards that it does not hit in the game are like an Android 16, a Gohan, the Gohan SCR, and the 8-drop Brawly. All of them are green cards. I think every single card of every color, to my knowledge, gets hit by that card. Every single battle card does. There's only 4 cards in the whole game that card doesn't hit, and it came as a 4 of in a structure deck, where the leader is actually broken. Okay? Like, the leaders. Like, the leaders are all insane. Like, the Vegeta. Plus 15,000 if you have 7 cards or less. They definitely did a 180 with the energy thing. Just said, put that as cards in hand, and don't give him critical. Make him draw a card, plus 15,000. 35k swing. Now, admittingly, in Fusion World, the leader's bases, unless you're Brawly, are 20 on Awakened side. Brawly, it's 25. But, and this is a big but, that 35k swing is no joke. When it comes to closing games, it is no joke. Right? Like, when it comes to attacking on a battle card early, if you awaken him fast, all your cards are subject to, like, either super combo or die. Like, that's what's going on here. Super combos, way more balanced. We'll see what they do with them in the future. They decided to add something else, or power creep it. But right now, all of them are basically during your opponent's turn. They're plus an extra 10k, so they're 20k combos. But during your turn, they're only 10. So there's a lot of good things, and it's all really powerful. There's no other way to say it. Like, it's all powerful. All the effects, all the archetypes, all of the colors have an identity, an attempt to branch out into that identity in order to fulfill their game plans. Let me tell you about the concerns, though. Okay? If I didn't say it already, these leaders and these card effects on these battle cards make set 1 of Masters look like a joke. Okay? I'm not kidding. There is no trolling. Okay? Goku, Blue Goku, which is easily, like, the best. Like, the best. Okay? The best set 1 leader in the game for Masters. If it's sat across from Fusion World Red Beerus, you wouldn't know that its Awakening side was Super Saiyan Blue Goku. Because Beerus would take him out back and annihilate him out of existence. The leader effects are all snapped. They are all snapped in one way or another. Okay? Let me just go over a few of them for you. Okay? Let's start with Brawly, my personal favorite green leader for the set. Now, draw, awaken. When he awakens, and your life is a 4 less, you take 1 of your life and put it in your energy. Active. Flip over. Activate main, sack 1 of your energy, draw a card. This card gains plus 5,000, 25k, so it's swing for 30, and it draws a card. However, there's a Goku that says when 1 of your energy is sacked off for an effect, charge it from your drop. Charge something from your drop in your energy. So you don't lose energy, and furthermore, it's full of ramp. So it's going to get to this 8 cost. And this 25k behemoth that draws a card as an activate main, not on swing, is a menace. 25k, I want you to imagine in what universe any Dragon Ball leader in set 1 could even remotely compete with that. And to be fair, there's just almost no way that they could, because every single Awakened leader is 20k base, and every base leader is 15. So every Awakened leader in Dragon Ball Masters is 15, and every base is 10. So you're already getting screwed in that department, okay? Well, let me talk about Beerus for a second. Beerus, during your turn, gains plus 5k and is a critical. So he's swinging 20k crit. That is not the only reason why he is busted. He has a turn curvature from 2 to 5, applying nothing but crit attacks. And let me tell you, it is busted. Okay? Because if I protect them, you lose. There's no other way up. No, there's no 2 cents or anything about it. You just lose. You will just lose. If he sees his awakening, self-awakening pieces, which there's 8, one of them is searchable. The other one is one of the most broken self-awakeners to exist in either game. To exist in either game. Okay? Either game. Listen to this. So, hit. On swing for 2 energy. On swing. Minuses something 5. And you can add up to 1 card from your life to your hand. It is an option to do that. It is an option to take the life. And you can still minus something 5. And it is a 20k swing. So it is a self-awakener that then turns into a minus. This kills chump blockers, draw cantrips, and helps you get into range for other reduction effects. The Beerus leader on the backside, for example, his on attack draw a card, he lost the crit, but he's 20k, lost the crit, but has an activate main to minus something 10. Meaning that between the hit and your leader, if you have a 20k card, I can swing 20 to 5 at it, or I can blow up your cards while swinging at other things, or, and this is like also one of the really dumb things, the secret rare for red, this UI Goku, that like nobody's playing in their red decks, besides like one other Beerus guy other than me, apparently in Japan, is busted. I mean, this secret rare is so broken that I could see this being played in every set for the foreseeable future for the next 7 sets. Okay? So if you don't know, in Fusion World, you can have 4 secret rares instead of just 1. There's no ultimate tag. And it's per copy. So if there are multiple red secret rares, you could have a deck full of secret rares. If you want to. But here's the catch. Okay? Here's the 22. The hindsight's 2020 vision. For a set 1 card, this card should never have existed. This effect is broken in current masters. Okay? This effect makes Raditz look bad. Or Nappa, the SS3 Nappa. It is a burn SCR. Burn. It does burn. What does it do? On play, minus 1 of your opponent's battle cards, 15,000 power. In tandem with your leader, that is 25k minus to a card. A 30k card reduced to 5. With the hit on the board, that 30k is dead. A 35, which is like a massive top end for the record. Most 5 drops are 35k. With the combination of all those cards in the previous curvature, we are literally talking about that card being reduced to 5. It is 4 cost, 30,000 power. When this card KOs a card by battle, deal your opponent a damage. Do you understand the problem here? It is inherent, minus 15 on play, and your leader is minus 10. That is a 30,000 card. Just between your leader and playing that card. The card 30,000 reduced to 5. If it's tapped, he swings into it, 30,000 to 5. Your opponent could super combo, which super combos in this game, as I explained, they're base 10, during your opponent's turn, they're 20. You could super combo and give that thing 20,000 power, and you still need to spend another 10 to get over it. And that is not including if you are last life, and I am hand dumping into that, because there's just no way. You better have all your super combos, there's just no way. Furthermore, okay, let me tell you about the curvature line of Beerus. From 2 to 5, there's crit. There's a Vegeta that is 15k crit. There is a Beerus on for 3 that comes down, is 20k crit, like your leader, then gives another card 5k power. So then it is 20 crit from Lead, 20 crit from Vegeta, 20 crit from this Beerus. There is a Gohan for 4 that comes out of the structure deck that is 25k crit and on swing minus is something 10,000 power. So it kills blockers. It's 25k crit with the Beerus swinging next to it. If they've swung at your Vegeta, it's now 30,000 crit plus 20 crit plus 20 crit. Let me tell you something. You think that your opponent is just going to willy-nilly take this crit all day? No, they're going to combo a couple cards. And they're still going to take the crit anyway, because that's the only thing that you're swinging at them with, and they're running out of cards in hand. They have to play cards too. So it's not like they just have all these cards in hand, okay? Then there's the Beerus card, okay? This Beerus SR slash, like, alt art, okay? Right, like, easily one of the dumbest cards ever printed. 35k crit. 0 combo power. Fine. Ooh, 0 combo power. Discard 1 card. Blow up the entire board. 25k or less. Okay? That will board wipe most decks in the game. Most decks. That'll board wipe most decks in the game. Even at 5, right? If they got to 5 before you, if you're awakened, your leader will minus their 35k down to 25. You play that, the whole board dies. There ain't no barrier. There ain't nothing to do. It just dies. Okay? It is effectively the Gohan SCR for most decks. And it gets to swing immediately and be 35k crit. That curvature line I just explained to you is absurd. If you see that and a self-awakened piece, your opponent's lost the game. There is nothing they can do. Like literally, the other day I was playing, there's a 17 blocker. It's 10k combo, 10k power. When it blocks during your opponent's turn, it gains 15. So 25 turns into a 25k blocker. I would play my blocker, and then I'd play the Vegeta, then I'd play the Beerus, then I'd play either the Beerus or the Gohan on curve 5, and then I'd play the other card after that. And then if there was some self-awakening that I needed to toss in there if they weren't attacking my life, or they like went at my life because they knew that if they went after the Vegeta, I'd just block, then it'd be whatever. Then if they try to play a card on top of it, then like if I had hit, I would just swing into that card, minus it, and then swing at their life with crit, right? Just continue denying them resources wherever they want. You're either going to spend the life to keep your cards on the board, or you're going to lose them, okay? And when you swing into my cards, I'm going to protect it, right? So then it's still just 15k crit, then 20k crit, then 20k crit, then 20k crit. Like, this would decimate anything in set 1 of Dragon Ball Masters. There would not be anything left of the meta other than Red Beerus. That deck alone is stronger than anything that they could have ever imagined for set 1 for Masters. I mean, we're literally stepping into the tier of like set 4 with some of the cards that are being printed in the structure decks. Okay? Like, yeah, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. The power creep of Fusion World is so high that we should be very, very concerned for what they're giving us next. How does it get not just undoubtedly broken from here? What on earth are you going to print? You've got 8 leaders a set. 8. Okay? And I've got a newsflash for them. You've already got 2 different Gokus. So what's it going to be? Maybe they slow down on leaders. I think that's what they should do. But I mean, golly, these effects are broken. I mean, broken. You've got a 4-drop like Frieza, right? King Cold. So Frieza, structure deck Frieza, when he awakens on the backside, he swings and draws, and then his end of the turn effect is to stand 2 of your 2 battle cards. 2 battle cards. Doesn't specify Frieza army, doesn't specify what it is just 2 battle cards. Period, end of discussion, end of story. You stand them. So there's a King Cold in there that is a 25k blocker that says, hey, when on play, KO up to one of your opponent's battle cards, there's 4 less. It's 25k blocker. So he gets a swing with it, and then it gets a stand to block. That is the theme of Frieza, and it is annoying. I mean, it is annoying to even, like, remotely have to do. They have a, oh god, what is it? They got a 1-drop Frieza that taps any card in the game. Just rest it. Just rest your 8-drop Brawly. That's fine. And so for 6 Dawn, you do that. Then you play the Golden Frieza card that comes out of the structure. Again, comes out of the structure deck. Guys, it's just coming straight out of the structure deck. That says, when this card attacks, choose up to one of your opponent's cards. It can't refresh. Can't go back to active during the refresh phase. So, and it's like a 35k double strike. For the love of God and all that is holy. These effects are insane. I mean, we even have a similar effect, right, in Galactic Frieza of set 1. You know what the difference is? Galactic Frieza didn't draw on his front side. Frieza does draw on his front side, which is way more broken. So he's just a better Galactic Frieza. Way better. Way better. We have that same effect, except for he didn't draw cards. And this one does. Absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Yeah, don't even get started on, like, the green androids, okay? They got, like, this little, like, ramp field that every turn allows them to ramp out of their drop for free for no reason. Just none whatsoever. Just ramping into oblivion. Then they have a 6 cost that on play KOs 2/3 costs or less. They have an 8 cost Brawly that is better than, like, any secret rare in the game. Oh my god. Like, literally, and that 8 cost Brawly is so powerful that it might as well have been a secret rare. That is how powerful that card is. You see that card, oh my god. Like, it is literally as strong as Gohan. Gohan's a 50k board wipe, and it is literally as strong as Gohan. He is a pop a card, draw a card, 45k dual attacker. Ain't nothing to talk about, bro. And he can attack immediately. He gets a pop a card, draw a card, and he can attack twice immediately. The Gohan, when he activates his effect, to board wipe, can't attack for the turn. So, I've got concerns. Yeah, right? That this is not like, this is such a strong start that the red alert should be going up. How are you going to balance the rest of this game? And right now, I think the worst color is blue. I think it's blue. Although, to be fair, blue has tons of good things going for it. The My SR is insanely broken. I don't know what they were thinking printing a card like that. Imagine this. A 1-drop that doesn't have to swing. It gives you 2 life. And we have 7 or less cards in your hand. When one of your opponent's cards is returned, is like removed from the battle area by one of your effects, you draw a card. Why? Why? And it's just sitting there. It's also a 1-drop Earthling. That's really important. Why? Because there is a peel-off that says, hey, on play, search a Earthling with a cost of 1 card from your drop and add it to your hand. Do you notice what I just said? I said card from your drop. The Earthling tag is also printed on extra cards. So Final Hope Slash, which is a plus 20k boost during your turn to an attack, okay, that simultaneously bounces a 2 or less, procking my, okay? So you see where I'm going with this. You can pick it up with the peel-off, and at minimum, when you combo with the peel-off, you can then pick up the 1-drop peel-off that picks up other cards or peel-off with the peel-off. So it's got a lot of good things going for it. I mean, even the Gotenks engine out of the structure deck out of the Vegeta structure deck is disgusting. A 4-drop 25k that adds 20k combo back to your hand in the end game can just break the game. And again, Final Flash should have never been printed. I mean, it's just insane. All this to talk about with the Bulma that I'm talking about, Final Hope Slash, for the record, I didn't say this, is a 1-drop. So the Bulma that can say, hey, if you have 7 or less cards in hand, you can activate your next event card with a specified blue cost reduction. That means it's free. I might be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. It's free. So we have basically Mecha Frieza level effects in the game on cards that give plus 20,000 power and bounce a card, or Gallic Gun, which is draw a card plus 15. And Mai's also going to draw a card. So, yeah, I've got concerns. But I do enjoy the game. I will be bringing content to the channel for it. So, if you've gone on to for Masters of Fusion World, or you're getting into Fusion World, you can look forward to that. I've got my gripes with the game, but we'll see where it goes. It's a lot more fun than Masters. And somebody tell me that I'll miss it. I'll miss certain cards, I'll miss certain decks or certain times. I don't think I'm going to miss the game. I don't think I will. I don't think I want to worry about the complexities of having to deal with a barrier blocker card that gets to rest one of my cards on play and negate its effects. I'm not going to... and then it's a counterplay. I'm not going to worry, right? I'm not going to miss that at all. Not. So, all that to say, thank you guys so much for watching. I apologize for the super content. I had full intentions a year ago. I wasn't lying when I said that. I meant it. It's just that a life circumstance happened, and I had to make a decision. That's the decision I made. And I think that it rightfully should impact the effort and content that I put on the channel. I don't just want to leave you guys high and dry with no explanation either. That being said, this is still going to be a TCG channel full of discussions. I will be bringing a lot more One Piece content than I will be Fusion World, as it's still my primary game. And yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff on the horizon coming. So stay tuned for that. Stay tuned for deck profiles. I already have a couple decks, both for Beerus and Vegeta, already set. And then OPO6 is upcoming here in March. Look forward to that. And then we'll be talking about more ban list stuff and deck profiles and other stuff for One Piece coming up shortly. But yeah, that pretty much does it for me. I will see you guys next time. And this is Marcus with TCG Discussion, signing off. Laters.